welcome back to the channel on this rainy day. We're actually inside today, as you can probably tell with the screen that's gonna be part of this entire review. We have a special guest today, Colton.
Hi.
How you been? How was hiking Mount Everest? I know you've been gone for a little bit. I know it took a little bit of time. Did you make it to the top? He did. He made it to the top. Just ignore his laughter. You know how it is. So we have a screen behind us. You might be wondering, wow, how does this fit in? Well, you can use a screen for this project. You can use the outside of a house. We've projected on a large 20 by 20 foot section of the house before. You can put it on the side of a tent. It doesn't really matter as long as it is a nice clean surface that a projector can project on, right?
Yes.
Now, the number 2 thing you will need is
Flint and steel.
Flint and steel.
no, it's actually a positive attitude. Positive attitudes are great, but what do we need first? Beyond a screen, a yellow loot crate. What did you get from the airdrop, my friend? It might be a little tough to open. It's a waterproof container here. So when you're thinking about camping, right? We went camping back in what? Back last summer, middle of the summer, probably last year.
Yeah.
And we went camping for 3 nights, 4 days. We decided what, 1 night at first, and then we're like, wanna go again? Okay, wanna go again? Okay. We just added extra lives to our adventure. But that being said, by day 2 or 3, you're kind of thinking, I like a good fire story around the fire with some s'mores and cooking some steaks and hot dogs and all sorts of fun things. We even have a new pie. Remember the pie maker thing we got? I got a new pie maker. We were making like bread pie things. Remember that with like putting chocolate and marshmallow in it, little foldy thing? That was really good. But you want some new entertainment, all right? So you got the screen set up either between some trees or hanging on the side of a tent. And then you need this right here. What is that?
Projector.
Projector. So this little guy, there's a few of them out there. I've found that small, battery powered as well as charger is the way to go. This is just a Nebula. All right, so this is the Nebula. Now, this one is actually one of the older ones. This is the model D4111. All right, it's made by Anker. So Anker makes, that's right, external battery packs. Anker is very well known for their external battery packs. In fact, we've seen an Anker store before and they were broadcasting and kind of marketing the Nebula. Now, this one is really cool because it's small. It's about the size of what, a soda can?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it has a simple dial on the side, and we'll show you some of the tech behind it here in a minute, but it has a simple dial on the side to kind of adjust your sharpness and kind of focus there. Comes with a remote, no Netflix button though, but it does have Wi-Fi, so it's Wi-Fi enabled. It has a battery life of a couple of hours, so you can get through about a movie. But that doesn't matter because in this case, which I found that this case that I ended up getting, which I think is a seahorse, right? Yep, seahorse case. It holds not only the charging cable, but it holds your HDMI, which you will also need. Little brick for your charging there. This right here is designed for the old iPad or iPhone. However, this is the cable you will need. You'll need an HDMI input as well as the lightning cable import. They do make one now for USB-C, HDMI, and USB-C because you're gonna wanna charge your device while running it. It also comes with, I think, a little USB, one of the larger USB-A's to micro USB. This is a micro USB charge device, right? And it has the input for that on the bottom as well as the HDMI. So those are the only 2 things you really need, as well as some basic controls on there, like so. Now, in here is the main thing you'll need to run a switch, right? So let's say you're at camp, you're bored, you wanna have a projector set up, you can watch a movie with your iPad, your iPhone, something downloaded, you can also, utilizing this, you can also go and set up a Nintendo Switch, but you could bring the dock, right? We've done that before. You could bring the whole dock, you can run through that whole setup, and I just found, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work to do that. So there's actually a device you can get on Amazon. Everything is actually on Amazon. So the parts list for everything you see will be down below if you want to build this out for yourself. What do we got? It literally says switch power dock on the side. Now, what this is a power dock that you have not only USB-C to power up your device. So you have to plug this in. Are you tired? Do you need a coffee?
No.
Need a coffee break?
No.
It's the last day of spring break, those little weasel.
Oh,
USB-C It also has HDMI and then a normal USB to charge some other devices, right? So you're gonna need this, and it comes with a USB-C to USB-C, so it already comes with that. And then you're going to plug in your HDMI, and we'll show you how all that works in a second. But none of this matters if you don't have two more important things. And what are they, Colton? Next, we already did that. Oh, that's right. A power source, right? What is this? A big Energizer Bunny battery, right?
EcoFlow.
EcoFlow. This is actually the EcoFlow. All right, you can kind of see that right there. There are a bunch of them you can choose from out there, but the key part is if you get a bigger one, like this one, like one of the 1000 series, same with the Jackery, the bigger Jackery too. Whoa.
I turned it on.
There's a nice screen on there. This thing's been sitting in the garage 99%. No, 61%. But we use this camping last, right?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. So you see this one has a nice screen on it. EcoFlow, I think it's like the Delta 2 is what this one is. I'll drop a link for you guys to learn more, but check this out. The cool part is on this side, you have all of your plug-in options here. USB, USB-C, AC, DC, whichever you need, and that's gonna be good for what I'm about to show you to power everything up.
Extra battery port.
Yes, and this is how you charge it. It does come with a
extra battery port.
That's right. Actually, it says, you're right, no, there's the charging ports here. There's the extra battery port because you can link these together, right? Mm-hmm. That's right, the charging cord actually is on this side right here. Right in here is your ability to charge and also use solar, and I'll show you that in a second as well to power this up. So this one's really, really neat. Solar. You want to see the solar? Okay. Solar for us. Now, this will charge at a couple hundred watts an hour in good sunlight. Now you can imagine that's going to take 5 or 6 hours to fully charge, especially if you're using it. It's even longer. So this is something you can leave out and plugged in. I like to plug this in the car when we're driving to or from camp or wherever we're going, because plugging into the car, you get a lot more energy out of it to charge this. But these are some rocker panel. I think they're called what are they called? Rock Pals? Yeah, Rock Pals. They're kind of worn down because I've actually had them for a few years. We've used them quite a bit, and they fold out in a trifold formation like so. Then you just lean them on like the car hood, the top of the hood. You can lean them against a tree, something with the most direct sunlight. Now, what's interesting is it comes with adapters, right, for charging these batteries. However, this one is a little different, and I'll show you, you actually will need a special adapter for it. So if you get the EcoFlow in particular, you'll also need this guy, right? Because they have a different cord than the single cord, which I think I should have in here to show you guys as well. Yep. So this is the Jackery, right? Have little adapters that come with it, which is cool.
No.
But this,
Nice.
Nice! You actually have these clips. These come off. These new plugs go on, and now you take off this whole adapter piece here, and now you have a direct line into your EcoFlow to charge it up. And that is the tricky part with solar panels, because all of them have different adapters, right? Which is why they have to give you this gambit. I feel like they should all standardize, but that's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
And there's one more thing we need, obviously, to play video games like Mario Kart, right? Making some room for everybody. We'll make some room and set it up. Now, I will say one other thing. If you're interested, like I said before, the link's down below for this stuff, but my buddy Sean over at We Like Shooting have created this shirt. You like this shirt? Remember there's like a Yeti hiding in here somewhere?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
No.
Where's the Yeti? He's around here somewhere. He made these new camo patterns, right? So they're all different types of shirts. Some of them aren't as tactical or as woodland appearance like this one is. I think this one's called like the Warden, but link will be down below for that. Also, if you're interested in some green tea from First Form Energy, Zoe ate all of my protein bars.
I know.
Did she not? I come downstairs, she's eating the peanut butter and jelly protein bar. She's eating the barbacoa steak beef sticks, right? And I'm like, girl, these are mine, and you don't need this much protein, but she wants to feel power, right? Ah, protein. So yeah, First Form, link will be down below as well if you're interested. But energy is great, protein is great, but what's better? A red case with a random doohickey. No, it's a Nintendo Switch. So of course you can bring one or two of these little adapters with you and you guys can both play, especially if it's just me and him, or bring both the adapters. You can fit the Switch, controllers, some of the cords, a bunch of games in here. It's like a travel kind of setup. A couple of controllers, you get enough for 2 people or 4 people if you want to use the little versions of controllers. Switch 2's coming out soon, right?
It already came out.
No, I think it's pre-orders, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just pre-orders, June or something. So you got your Switch right here. Now how this is gonna set up is, we'll show you here. So you need to obviously have your power strip, right? So your power setup is the power dock. Would you like to plug that together? So USB-C goes into USB-C, then USB-C goes into USB-C. Great, nice, right? Now, if this has its battery low, not working out too good, and same for this, if you want to use your iPad, you can. Either way, it's going to be a simple switch of your HDMI. But let's say, so you have your iPad in, you also have your other lightning cable going into right here for the EcoFlow to charge your tablet, your phone, whatever. And then this is going in your tablet, and now you can run it through this. But let's say we're doing just the switch right now. So you have HDMI into the bottom of your projector. And we'll set this up behind us here in a sec. HDMI into that. Now, it has a couple hour battery, but let's say you want to keep this topped off. Micro USB goes in there, and regular USB goes in there. You want to help?
I got it.
You got it? Okay. Got your remote, your like extra cables there. It's great it all fits in the Seahorse, because I'm glad I actually did the exact measurement because it has all the nice pad in there. That way we don't mess it up. Everything's nice and protected. We know where it is. What do you got for me? All right, so now you take this, I'm gonna take it around here, turn on your EcoFlow.
Or Jackery.
Or Jackery, I do like the Jackery 1000. And here you have a button, just like the Jackery, each section has its own button to hit, right? So now we'll just go and plug this in like so. And now we're charging, we're already at 100%. What were we playing last? Minecraft. It's like you just saw the movie. All right, I'm gonna boot this up. We'll turn the lights down just a little bit so you can see it. So as you can see, we can now take off the controllers and Colton can grab the adapter and I can go and set this whole switch somewhere on like a little box or a cooler. We had ours set on the cooler. This was right next to the cooler. And then we actually had a travel refrigerator, right?
Yeah, we did.
Which is pretty nice. Now you can set that up and you can just scroll around. You don't click on anything really, just kind of show them what's going on here. So you got Pikmin 4, you know, Smash Bros, whatever. And you can also go and adjust it. Now there is some sunlight behind here, so it's not gonna show as good. However, there's also a volume button. So you can kind of see. So we got Mario Kart
Deluxe.
8 Deluxe.
Mario Kart 8!
See? So we have a lot of fun with this. Now, of course, if it was darker in the room, if it was, you know, a little bit more space to move this back, I mean, we could.
Same play.
What do you think? So here you go. So that's all I want to show you guys for this right here. I'm going to turn it down a little with the remote. But you can actually go and hit a home button, very much like your TV at home. All right, and now you can go and scroll through Amazon, YouTube, Netflix, kids shows, even has stuff here like a file manager, you can store files, app manager, you can get apps, network, of course, for Wi-Fi and things like that. Now, I will say, you, of course, we'll need Wi-Fi. Maybe you have Starlink, which could be something we can get. It'd be pretty sweet to use that, but this is an Android-based operating system, so it's a little sluggish either way. I like to download, you wanna go to open YouTube or something? I like to download any kind of content. Yeah, see, actually, I think we need to go and link it to the Wi-Fi here. I'd like to download content right to an iPad. It's a little bit easier. And then that way you can go and just have a downloaded thing you normally would have on your iPad. Plus then you get the full HD because you never know with Wi-Fi what you might see. But you can see because the kids have played some games and they'd watch some random shows and things like that. And then the remote also has, I think it's like a mouse thing, right? What's the mouse thing do? Oh yeah, see, you have a little pointer clicker thing there, which is kind of fun. So Nebula, you know, it's a good system. It's nice you can have the Switch powered on with you. Colin's probably now going to play Mario Kart on the wall here for the foreseeable future, but I will say about 100 inch by 100 inch is probably the max section. What? Oh, home button. You can go to the inputs, HDMI, I think. HDMI, I will say that the about 100 inch by 100 inch is probably where you want to be at with you hit the H1 button. You hit once. Oh, you have to point at the thing. There you go.
You're welcome.
Give it a sec. 100 inch by 100 inch is probably where you want to be at for this, just because that's kind of how the power of the projector might be. This is not like a fancy Epson or something like that, but the 360 speaker is really all you need, I think, from that standpoint. There's other ways you could probably go and hook this up with Bluetooth or set it up with an external speaker, but for what you want, you also don't want to really kind of bug your neighbors, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to turn it too loud. I feel like just having us sitting with two chairs with this thing right in between us, the Nebula in between us, was kind of the way to go at the time for us kind of doing the last couple camp outs with this. But again, guys, everything is down below for the links for everything, for the parts list, for everything you've seen in this video. I'm going to leave Colton here to play Mario Kart on the wall, even though he has the handicap setting with 2 windows right here, but it's still pouring rain out. So hey, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions about this setup, or if you have any improvements that you've seen, we've had this for about a year or two, I think 2 years now. So the Nebula, there's some new ones out now, and I think that with that, technology is improving. Hopefully battery life and, faster operating systems and things like that will come. So any other last questions or anything? Comments, questions? No? He's gonna have some fun. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Again, any questions, hit them down below. Happy to answer them. As always, you should take care of the ones you love. Those are the ones that matter. And we'll see you all in the next review or the next tournament.